Shannon.
Hi.
It's really nice to see you again.
It's good to see you. I really wanted to talk to you.
Great. We've had a little bit of a lapse in time since the last time we met because of Hurricane Sandy. How did you do through the storm?
I was lucky. We did really well. You know, we weren't out of power for weeks at a time, luckily. But we did well. I mean, I was out of work for 2 weeks, which kind of sucked. But it was kind of nice to spend time. You know, we had no power or anything, so you really are just stuck with, you know, the family. Not to say stuck. It was really nice. It was nice to spend time with the animals and family, and it was nice. We were lucky. It's hard because, you know, I live where the eye hit.
Yes.
And a lot of my family and friends have lost their houses.
Yes.
My one aunt's house is somewhere in the bay.
So I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yes.
But luckily I was lucky. My old townhouse, actually, where I used to live in, it's condemned now because it was right on the water.
Well, then that's fortunate for you.
I know. I feel that I had angels above looking out for me because I would have been devastated if I would have lost everything. Well, you know.
I'm glad to see you here, and I'm glad that everything's gone well and you've been able to reconnect with people in your lives.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of people powwowed during this storm.
Yeah, we did.
So that's really nice. But the last time we left, our session ended with your needing to have a discussion with Gary.
Yeah.
The last time we left, you were talking about feeling very overwhelmed about his attentiveness to you, and it was creating some problems because you really craved some alone time. Now, I'm really curious because the storm really did bring people together. Did you actually communicate before the storm or during the storm too?
Since our last session, we've actually communicated. I've communicated much, like kind of almost throughout. During the storm, it wasn't too bad because it's not like we can go out and do things. I couldn't go anywhere.
Yes.
I couldn't. So it wasn't as bad. As we got power back and things started opening up, you know, I started, you know, and then it came up again. I'm like, okay, alone time.
Yes.
But I've talked to him because I feel it's not fair that if I have a problem with something, I have to express it. How does he know he's doing something wrong?
Yes.
You know, there was an instance where Candace, I told you she lives with us, my best friend. She came back from New York City with her boyfriend, who's his best friend. Okay. And I wanted to see how her date went, so I got off the couch and I laid in her bed because she was out kissing her boyfriend goodbye because he lives in Maryland. And he came into the room and I said, hey, what's up? He's like, are you waiting for her to come in? I'm like, yeah. I was laying with her dog, like, you know, she's like my sister.
Yes, a typical girl.
Yeah. You know, he's like, do you care if I talk too? I'm like, no. Like, I mean, yeah, I care. It's girl talk, you know? He's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I guess I'll just go lay on the TV. You know, go lay in bed and watch TV.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. And then after we had our girl talk, it wasn't anything, like, secretive. It was just, you know, just girl talk. I spent all weekend with you. I want to see her. She works so much. I don't get to see her that much. I really talk to her. And I know she'll say things to me that she won't say to the rest of the family. You know, when we have our family discussion, because his parents are there too. Because we moved in to save money for the wedding. But after I talked to him and I said, you know, when I thought that after I got off the couch and I said, I'm going to go talk with Candace, that you would know that, you know, I was going to have some girl talk. And he's like, okay, whatever. Oh. But he thought about it. So he might say, okay, whatever. And I tried to make him understand. But after a while, he thought about it. He was like, you know what, I totally understand. And I thought about what you said, and I'm sorry. And
wow.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah.
You took a perfect opportunity into your hands.
I didn't wait.
You didn't wait at all. You seized the moment and you set parameters that way without hurting anyone's feelings or seeming like you were attacking or whatever.
Yes.
And he naturally felt what was happening in the situation, retreated, And then actually he thought about it, even, that's so wonderful. You gave him the opportunity for the two of you to settle a difference in such a wonderful way.
Yeah, I was really happy with the outcome because even though it might take, he has to think about it. He's the kind of person who he has to think about it.
Yeah.
And then he'll come to me a little bit later, which that's how his personality is. That's fine. I'm just happy that he knows now I'm gonna have my, alone time. He has to understand girl talk time. There was another instance where, kept on wanting. I talked to him, actually, this is the biggest thing with the whole attentiveness. How he always tells me all the time how amazing I am, how much he loves me. And it's like every day.
But it's sweet.
It is. It is so, he's a sweetheart. I could not have asked for a better fiance. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. But I don't want it to become meaningless.
Yes.
If you hear something over and over, it doesn't mean as much, So after a while, he said it to me the other day, and I called him because remember you brought up last session that, well, why don't you speak to him about it?
Yes.
And I'm like, why don't I?
Well, communication is the only way to settle
communication, exactly.
anything. So if we don't communicate, the other person is left in the dark, and we're assuming they understand what we're trying to relate, but that is not the case.
Exactly, and I thought about it after last session. It wasn't fair to him, so I called him, and I have to be careful because he's sensitive, and I can be very, a brute sometimes, and I don't mean to be. So I'm very careful with my words, and I said, honey, the things that you tell me, I love. Like, it means so much. No one's ever treated me or said the things that you said to me, but I don't want it to lose its meaning.
Yeah.
Tell me every so often.
Yes.
I don't doubt that you feel that way.
Yes.
So, and he was like, okay. But then he really understood. I tried to explain in other ways that he maybe understand. But I think it's almost like maybe he's a little insecure. That I don't know, I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Well, it's so wonderful that, number one, you're attentive to your tendencies to react in certain ways. I mean, that's a really loving condition. And since you're noticing that maybe he's a little sensitive about things, it could really help to bring a closer bond to your relationship. But it seems like you already have that.
Yeah,
and
we do.
That's commendable.
Yeah, we do. He's, like I said, he's wonderful. It's just, I guess it's all just new because of the getting married and just all new, and things are going so well. It's almost like I feel like I'm gonna not sabotage the relationship, but it's just too good to be true.
Well, you mentioned your feelings of his insecurity. I think it was a perfect way for you really to present to him that he has no reason to, you can't really think or do for him, but I'm sure just by your conversation and your caring response that if that was a possibility, you would lessen it tremendously.
I mean, he told me, he did open up and actually say, he's like, lately when I told him, you don't tell me these things every day.
Yes.
And he said to me, I just feel like lately, you just don't care as much, and I didn't know you felt that way.
Wow.
So I said, and that's really not. He's like, I know you have a lot going on with school, and I go, I do, and I have a lot on my plate, and I'm really stressed. I go, doesn't make me love you any less.
Yeah. So it produced a lovely dialogue.
Yes, it did.
And it just strengthens and bonds your relationship even further. And
it does.
You should be so happy about the outcome. I couldn't imagine a better one, to be quite honest.
He's so wonderful, and then there are times where I'm just like, get out of my face, like just go away.
So, do you have any plans for keeping this like an ongoing process? You don't want to fall back into the we'll call them bad habits of not addressing things when they happen, making assumptions, and being unclear about things. I mean, we know that produces some burdensome effects in the end, and if we can avoid that, it produces just wonderful outcomes.
Yeah, I feel that I'm going to be more, the things that annoyed me, not annoyed me, but I felt overwhelmed, like suffocating.
Yes.
Those things that he's done, I'm more open to, like I tell him now, you know, and I may get to the point that, it's not that I've been thinking about the whole time, but, you know, now I'm just being more open.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do that, so it doesn't make me feel a certain way.
Yes.
You know?
Well, if we immediately address things aren't building up in either the person that just end up coming out many times the wrong way. It's human nature.
Yeah.
So.
I just don't want him to feel, because I know I can, you know, he tells me like I'm beautiful and like, oh, thanks, hon. It's almost like it doesn't really mean as much. And I don't want it to be that way, you know, because I've been with guys who are just complete jerks, and I was like infatuated with them, you know. And now I have this one, like anything a woman could want, he possesses.
Yeah.
Like, he's wonderful, his family is wonderful, he's understanding, he's helpful, he's wonderful. And I don't want, it's like I don't want to take that, I don't know, it's like.
No, it doesn't sound like you are. It seems like you're just a really nice fit. And if you keep working at it, you really would be able to avoid any future problems.
Yeah.
And you'll just get closer and closer to one another.
And we're still learning, and we did move quickly. I mean, we'll be married, I actually got the email in 9 months.
Wow.
And
how exciting.
I know, and we're coming up on our year anniversary, so we got engaged really soon.
Yeah.
But I knew he was just,
Okay.
he's wonderful.
Intuitively, that sometimes those are just, you have the gut feeling.
Yeah, when you know, you know. And he actually reminded me a lot of my father, and that's very comforting.
Yes.
And there's just so many good qualities. And if, you know, him being too attentive there's a worse quality, then I'm doing pretty damn good.
Yeah. you made a good score right here.
I definitely did. But I feel I'm going to make sure the communication keeps on staying open, because that is very important in a relationship, especially a marriage.
That's wonderful. Well, it seems that we've sort of settled the issue on communication.
Yeah.
Are there any other pending problems or whatever that may be bothering you at the moment?
Pending problems. There's not really too many problems. I mean, I have to keep him kind of on a reality check with money.
Yes.
You know, now that both, you know, we were a joint bank account, I had, you know, like, oh wait, so this money in the account. I'm like, no, we have a lot of bills to pay for the wedding.
Yeah.
We got a wedding coming up, and, you know, I still got to pay off my dress. And that's just really about it, and creating a budget. But he's still good. Like, it's not that bad. He's
Okay,
not,
but
he doesn't like go out freely, spend money and crazy. But it's just something we're learning about each other. We're working. It's minor. I feel like it's very minor things compared to other relationships that I have.
Okay, but you know what? It's good that you are addressing that, because in the future it can become an overwhelming problem if you're not on the same page about financial expenditures or what's pending bill-wise also.
Exactly. That's why I started writing on the calendar, because we were being late with our bills and having a late payment off. I'm like, we can't afford it. And the late payment is $35.
Definitely.
So,
very expensive.
Yeah, but there's really no other major problems.
Well, that's
You know.
wonderful. Do you have any thoughts about anything that we need to discuss in the future? And maybe we can come up with some ideas for solutions.
Yeah, I don't know. This might run over a little bit, but I don't know if it's normal, if it feels normal, that it's not unless I'm getting cold feet. But you know, I've been more single and dated than he has been. You know.
Come on, that's just natural.
But
I think everyone.
Just lately, I thought, like, wow, like I'm gonna be with this person the rest of my life. And it's almost like a little bit of a scary feeling. Like,
Okay.
just, I don't know. I think I might want to talk about that next, next session.
But that's, not a mutual problem. It doesn't seem that's yours, and I'll be glad to discuss that the next time. It's so nice seeing you.
No, thank you so much for just bringing light to everything. It really helped. It helped a lot.
Thank you.
So, thanks.
Have a great week.
You
Bye.
too.